comfortable with, you're good. Just make sure, turn the sound on whenever it's time. We're good.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. This is on. Okay, we just did. Can we establish a quorum at this time? We have established quorum.
We should probably appoint you as the temporary.
The vice president moving up to president position for this meeting.
These are actually
Okay.
I make a motion that we move Joe from vice president to president.
Thank you. Is there an increase in the pay or is it the same? Okay, old business.
You guys need to do the approval of meetings for
Open
August
seven.
and September. You have copies of those now. Thank you, Lee.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from August and September?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from August and September.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And it passes. Okay, Chief, are you ready for old business?
I am. New hire update. We just brought in 4 laterals from the lateral process. They are going through their orientation now. We brought in 1 of the paramedics. There'll be 2 other ones starting in December and January based on their 2-week and 30-day notices required by their other employers. So anyway, those offers have been extended right now. We have 1 medic who resigned today. She's moving to Ohio. So that's the reason for the 3rd one. We just continued in order. So the list that was approved, we're going right down that list. We had 1 person not make it through the process. So we moved in short order. We're on now our 4th candidate of the 6 that were on the list from the last meeting. On the laterals, we still have 2 left on the list. We had 6 there. 4 of them hired. 4 of them came through without fail. We're excited to have them on board, and they're doing well and having pretty positive interaction as they go through the stations and meet the personnel. New hire process update. We also, since we exhausted the list of the 12, now 10 that we're bringing on in December, we did an approval for another new hire process. We'll be starting that in short order as far as a public process. The first part of it is we have some paramedics that we allow to cross over, and there's a process for that. They do the ladder climb, they do the written test. They actually already work here, so they just get the full credit on the interview because we've already interviewed them to start here as paramedics. We have 3 of them interested. The tests just came in for their written test. We'll be scheduling that in the next week or 2, and then they'll be going through the perf process for approval for you all as well. We currently have a need for 2 of them. There's 3 that are applying. So as we go and do the public new hire process as part of the to keep our list current for 2 years, because we exhausted 1, we'll have to exhaust that particular list first. So if we do have a candidate on there, they'll be offered. Then we'll move into the next approved list I present to you guys down the road as we get it completed. Okay. The intent of that list, 1 is we have to have 1 on file for 2 years, and we should keep that present at all times in case we have a need. But number 2 is we're hoping to hire 15 people late next year as well. And that will complete most of our staffing program that we've been presenting to the Merit Commission and the trustee. And then that's where the question's been asked, where does the growth stop? And that's where we start to level out and maintain, because the population is starting to level out in Washington Township. So that's where we're at on those processes. I already told you about the laterals in the first new hire point. I got a little ahead of myself. The paramedic hire, I just got ahead and told you about all the new hires at once. The evaluation update, we are working on our Guardian workflow. There's a little training we have to do internally. We've given some ideas on what our different evaluations would look like for the different positions. I'll bring those to you guys for you to approve, because that's in statute that you'll approve what's in those evaluations. So as we work those out and make sure that we can do those in our Guardian tracking, which is it's the documentation process we have where it keeps everything on a virtual file and we can keep everything there. But as we work that out and get everything drilled down, we'll bring in a paper version of that. We can do a demonstration of what Guardian is and how it works. But that ensures when an officer puts something in, the employee actually sees it and it's not hidden. And then we have an approval process for the employee receiving the Guardian that requires them to have a face-to-face. So again, just trying to work on the transparency. Anytime somebody's addressed, we're not hiding behind keyboards, because that's the world we live in, and we're going to use our technology, but use it appropriately. Policy stat access. Offered each of you to come in and we can go through policy stat. When you pull up our minutes online, and everything's on the website at avonfd.org, you can go to the Merit Commission tab. And whenever you click on that, and you pull up these meeting minutes that'll remain on there. And then later it'll be the agenda and then the minutes. That link is a live link. So you can actually click on the document, and that will pull up our policy manual. Anything you want to look for will be on there. You just do a keyword on the, whenever you pull up the link, and you can look for different policies, whether it be uniform policy, orders of arrival, SOGs, and all that. So we have about 170, 180 policies and SOGs combined. We are in the process of updating some of that. Some of it's just updating it from Washington Township Avon Fire Department to just Avon Fire Department. There are still some areas in there that say Safety Commission. We have a representative from the union here today too, just to make sure you all know that we're communicating with our members. They understand safety board is the Merit Commission now. Interchangeable language. Luckily, what Avon had in place prior to us going full model merit is they had the safety board modeled after the merit system loosely, right? So our bylaws, where it says safety board, if we haven't gotten to that update yet, it is the Merit Commission. So they understand that. So if you happen to go through and go, that says safety board, everybody on the department understands we have our Merit Commission and where to find those rights and what the statute is. And we've sent multiple emails and communications out about that. Plus, they all had to adopt this themselves and vote to go merit. So they're familiar, and the unions also educated them as well.
So that comes from the state.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
this comes
What we are right now. Before, it was when you did it with police in the town of Avon,
Yes.
it was something that was done by the local board, the local entities,
Right.
and all that. Now the state is requiring certain government units with certain populations or statuses are required to do it, and then others may still do it on their own accord, like you've been part of in the past.
Thank you.
I don't know what the population cutoff is, but that's what it's based on. Like town of Danville, Danville Fire, their population is not big enough to require them to go merit, so they can choose to, and that's the same process that you're familiar with.
I think Avon is about 34,000.
Yeah, we're at 60,000 in our coverage area, so
60,000,
we're well
yeah.
over the whatever the threshold was.
Right. Thank you.
So yeah, as you look at policy stat though, you'll be able to see all that. And again, I'm still willing to come through and go through that with you all. But you have copies of every job description, everything that we're doing, all the processes and all that. So it's all on that document. And that wraps up old business.
That
unless
covers
you have any
everything on old
questions.
business. Any questions over the old business?
My only is on the policy stat, when we click the link, is that open to the entire community? Or
It's open to
our
anybody with the
password?
link. So
Okay.
yeah, the whole
It's not
community can get
password
it.
protected for us.
Nope.
It's open to anybody.
That's correct.
So real quick clarification on so you have civilian paramedics that are already on the job, and you have 3 that want to cross over to be firefighter paramedics. So all they have to do is pass the requirements to be a firefighter. Then are they on a list, or are they good just to go ahead and be hired?
So whenever I want to do the new hire process, we're doing a phase 1, phase 2. The steps are exactly the same.
Mhm.
And whenever they get on the list and we select them and they start Recruit Academy, they are resigning their position as paramedic and they are becoming firefighters, and they'll be a recruit like anybody else.
So they'll be on the top of the list.
On the top of selection, because I'm doing that first, but they will not be top in seniority. They'll still have to compete for
Right.
that.
There will be a list created, it will have to be for approval or be able to offer
Yep.
those.
Well, that's good, because obviously they've proven themselves as good employees here in their job, and they know the system. So it's great that they have the opportunity to switch over, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, Chief, are we ready for new business at this point in time?
We are.
Could I have a?
Oh, yes, one more
I-
question.
I have one more question. So who's on the selection committee
For
for the new hires? Or what you were just talking about?
we vary that. I mean, on the selection committee, really, they all come as for lack of a better term, it's a cattle call for the testing. And then everybody has to pass the written test.
Oh, gotcha.
The CPAT is a cattle call. They all have to go do that at an outside agency. the written test is done by an outside agency, which we'll kind of go through here in a minute with the lieutenant process.
Okay.
And then after that, the interview board. We usually, for any process we do, if we're doing a lieutenant process, an officer at or above that rank is on, and then you have some of our operations staff as well, with myself or any of the 2 deputy chiefs or division chiefs on the department. Once in a while, we'll invite HR in, and we just kind of change that up once in a while. So we keep cycling who's doing the interviews and making sure we're getting a good diverse group of people.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else for old business? Okay, Chief, new business?
Yeah, so first order of business will be the approval of the lieutenants list. So you have a document in front of you that says testing on the top, and that's from the group that does the outside testing and evaluation for us. So this answers some of your question on selection committee on how this works. On new hires, we want to own that outside of the written test. But for the officers, we already know them. We don't want to be biased, so we make that as unbiased as possible. So what you have in front of you that says Testing for Public Safety LLC, that's the company, formerly IPSP, doing business as IPSP. This is the letter that every candidate gets. So every candidate that went through the process gets this letter, and it describes the process on what the test is, what everything's worth, how they get their feedback, and what they can expect. So I just gave you that for information to have. Once they go through it, they get their scores, which are also provided by the IPSP company that does it. And they bring in outside interviewers from other departments. So this time we had a chief from Carmel, a chief from Whitestown, and a chief from Zionsville that came down, some of their operations staff. And they came down and performed the interviews for us and gave the feedback. We work with IPSP and give them the criteria, our policy manual, and everything they want to form the questions and the evaluations. And then Chief Porter works with them through operations and describes the scenarios or picks the scenarios from what they have available. And then those 3 officers that come in and do it independent from our department, and we don't pick them at all. I think they bring them in, right? So they bring those officers in, and then they give feedback directly to the company, and that the company gives us a written report. So every candidate has received their scores for every component. What you guys have in front of you is the breakdown by statute. Whenever you're reading state statute, what it says is the oral interview or seniority cannot be more than 20% individually. So the oral interview is at 20, seniority is only at 5%. That way we can't be biased toward somebody who's highly qualified but less senior. We put most of our stake in the tactical performance, the written problem that they're presented, and then 10% in the written exam. So that is our breakdown. It's everything that we've talked about in the past. It's the same process we've done for our officer processes since I've been here. And it started before I came here, but it's always been in line with state statute. So that's each of their performances in each component. Everybody passed with a 70% or better, which is required. So the total scores, you can see there, it ranged anywhere from 72% at the bottom, or 72 points, up to 89, which meet all the criteria for passing for us. So this is the ranking of our list. So for new business, the first thing I would ask is the certification of the lieutenant list.
Chief, real quick, how long is this process from the time that the candidates receive the information, hey, we got a process going on, until we're to this point? I know it's a pretty lengthy one.
They're probably 4 to 5 months.
4 to 5.
Time of the initial application phase to the completion.
So it's a lot of work, a lot of steps. Real quick, could you just tell what some of the steps are for the board?
Yeah, so the application phase is the part that starts it all off. They have to meet criteria, requirements, and that of the position description. They would then go through a written exam or a study period. So it affords them the opportunity, application, they get accepted in as a candidate. There's a study period of about 30 to 45 days, depending upon the process is being done, reading materials, studying materials. Then they're identified with the written test, and then followed up with the oral review of the tactical scenario, which is emergency scene management, personnel management, HR issues and stuff that can hold for the revise the tactical scenario and then the written exercise. And then all those scores are collected, we get a report, and the candidates get the notification shortly thereafter. And comes to you for approval of the
Yes, it's a very long process, a lot of steps. What's a minimum like time on the job for a person to be eligible for a lieutenant?
board.
4 years on the job, okay. Any other questions?
Make sure we turn the microphone on over here. Yeah, sorry guys. I know it was new.
Do we have a motion to approve the lieutenants list?
I second.
I make the motion.
Well, I thought he said.
I said, do we have a motion?
Oh, I apologize.
Yes.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the lieutenant list.
So,
I second.
all in favor of the promotion list? Say aye.
Aye.
The list is approved. Congratulations to everyone.
All right, on the second step here, per statute, you would present to me the top 3 candidates on the list from which we would choose one. I get 6 months to choose one. I probably only need about 6 seconds because we have no reason not to go in order. So at this time, I'd like you to present to me the candidates for promotion, and then we will choose one because we have an immediate opening on ladder 4. You can.
You want to make a motion for these 3, or do you need the names?
I don't know that there's a rule on that. It's whatever you guys want to do. I'm okay with the names.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and promote the first 3 on the list.
I second that.
Present the first 3. You don't want to promote them
Present. Okay, we will present the first 3 candidates on the list.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And it passes.
yet. I don't want to inadvertently promote them too soon. Sorry. Let's do it. Okay, from those, yeah, go ahead. We do have one immediate, yes. I'll come back to you guys for 3 more is what I'll come back for. Unless we have a vacancy in the meantime. The next 3 would be for engine 5 whenever that firehouse is complete. Yeah. So from this list, I will tell you guys, we'll go ahead and promote candidate number 1, Brandon Funk. We have tentatively told him, I mean, they all know their scores, tentatively told him this would be happening today, and he has given a conditional acceptance on the approval of the board. So Brandon's a senior member here with over 20 years. We were excited to see him perform, and the guys he was going against are pretty sharp. Keith Cox is another career person, but the rest of the guys on here, outside of Chris Lewis, who's on the list, they were all people who came from other departments from the lateral processes we've done, which that means that process is working. We have people stepping up to fill those gaps in our current employment, and that's what they're meant
I
for.
like to congratulate
Brandon.
Brandon. Good job. Congratulations.
He performed well, so thank you guys very much. I think you did that.
I think we
didn't
did all the, yeah.
Request for approval of an engineer process. So we've offered everybody who was on the last list. The last offer was to Chris Berry, who was on the list. He respectfully declined that one. So he is a backup engineer for us. But that exhausted that list, so we need to go back through and do an engineer process. So I'd like the approval to move forward, do an engineer process. We have no changes to it. Everything's going to be the same as what we've done in the past, and everything we've brought forward under merit.
I make a motion that we request approval of the engineer process.
And I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And it passes.
The next one is we have some, in the beginning, whenever we did our first FTO process, which was the first paramedic promotion that we put in place. We had talked about that. A job description was drilled down. At that time, it was under the safety board, grandfathered over. But those were approved by the township board at the time. But we had come in here and discussed it as a group. in the past. It was last year in 24. A lot of our members were present at that meeting. They were excited about the opportunity to give layers to the paramedics. All the other layers of promotion were always in the fire realm. So the FTO process requires an employee to have at least 1 year on the job affiliated with Hendricks Regional Health. Our medics are always relatively new, especially here. A lot of our medics are going and they're going through nursing school, getting their RN, kind of following in the same footsteps as our EMS chief. So some have left to go on to greener pastures, but others have stayed and they just aged into the position. The program wasn't put into place until after 2020. Is that right? The civilian paramedic program, 2018. Okay, so before my time. So again, still a relatively young program. It's had some turnover. Now it's a lot more established and we have more candidates stage in. So we had 12 positions we had budgeted for and we only filled 9 of those, and one of them now is moving to Ohio as of this morning. So we're going to have a few positions open there. So we'd like to do an FTO process. So if you guys can make a motion for us to approve our FTO field training officer process for paramedics, that's our next request.
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second for the FTO process?
Second that.
Steve seconds it. All in favor of the paramedic FTO promotion process? Aye.
Aye.
And it passes. Thank you. Anything else under new business, Chief?
No, that's it. Just the processes that we need to get in place to continue moving forward.
Okay, so that looks like that covers that. Wish to be heard, public comments. Nothing.
Tom, you're the public.
The union rep? Nothing from the union? Everybody's happy? Everybody's good?
That was gonna be my board comment. Did you have anything as a union rep to say?
That's good then, right? Board comments.
I'd just like to congratulate the fire department and the chief and the rest of the fellow firefighters and union and everybody, because I have heard nothing but good things about. Sorry, but you know, when there's a fire, it's not good, but the comments are wonderful that, you know, our fire department is the best. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I'd like to echo that also, but also the promotion process. Thanks for explaining that, because back in my day, I went through a few, and it is a long, stressful, tedious several months. There was times I went through it, we had 15 or 20 candidates just to be on the list, and you can tell who your friends are and who your not so much friends are, and to make it through is pretty awesome. And that's it's really exciting to see a veteran, a 20-year veteran, going for it. And any other board comments?
Not this time.
Not at this time.
And just so you guys know, that's part of the culture change we talked about once
I
you
think
guys
you
had started coming in, right?
Cultivated that very well.
And the other part is whenever you talk about the community comments, a lot of times when the community walks in, you go into a lot of places, whether it's small department, big department, or businesses. You get to the person up front behind the glass window or at the desk, and that's your gatekeeper, right? The big thing that I know our administrative staff tries to do is be available and not just hide behind the window. And even whenever complainants come in, because those happen too, you know, you end up, if you engage them and we have the conversation, they end up being a supporter. And we had that happen last week. So, you know, we had a person that wasn't happy about some things. They came in, and when they left, they've not only been verbally an advocate, but they've gone on social media and advocated for some things. And that's what it's about. So.
I guess I do have a board comment. I shared with Chief coming in today, there's a local church that is reaching out to the fire department or to the chief to present some things to them as well. So,
What was the name again?
City View.
So if they reach out to anybody, let me know.
They'll reach out to you, I think.
Okay,
But,
that's
yeah.
fine.
You know, we have the holidays coming up. Anything special planned for that for the department?
Not at the moment. I'm not a big celebrate. I mean, I celebrate holidays with my family, but I'm not a party planner, so I'm not good at that. So I
So
think
you're
we
not
brought
putting
that
that
up with
together?
even having water available. I'm going to work on that. I'll do better.
Water.
I know. I'm sorry.
And
Yeah, we did it. We did increase our food budget for next year, so we'll make sure we have all that.
good. Chief, the next meeting, January 27th, is that still correct?
I'm going to defer that to you all because obviously I made that mistake. So let me go back.
Tuesday. It's a Tuesday.
Is it?
We had
Okay.
changed them to Tuesdays
Okay.
for Tom. Does that still work for you then on Tuesdays?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Wednesday.
Yeah,
I made a mistake.
You did what, chief?
I made,
Is your mic on?
I made a mistake.
You know what? Admitting is the first step too. Okay, so the next meeting is scheduled for January 27th at 2026, 5 p.m. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We are now adjourned at 17:28.